morning, class. Today we're going to learn about dinosaurs while reading the book Thomas the T-Rex, The Journey of Young Dinosaur to Los Angeles. So before we get started, I just want to ask you all a few questions. Some words we're going to encounter in the book include dinosaur. Now, does anyone know what a dinosaur is? Very good. It's an animal that lived long ago. And does anybody know what a paleontologist does? A paleontologist is a scientist that studies dinosaurs and the ancient environments that they lived in. So in this book, we're going to encounter some paleontologists and different scientists who help with the dinosaur while he makes his trip to Los Angeles. So we're going to read Thomas the T-Rex, The Journey of the Young Dinosaur to Los Angeles by Michael Smith. Today, my cousin Rita and I are going to the Junior Scientist Club meeting at the National History Museum of Los Angeles County. My name is Thomas, and I'm in the 4th grade, and Rita is in the 3rd grade. She's really smart. She's an artist and loves dinosaurs too. So we have Thomas and Rita, they're cousins, and they're going to the museum today. The Natural History Museum is the best place to see dinosaurs. This museum has all kinds of cool stuff, like a bug zoo with live insects. The Discovery Center has bones, rocks, fossils that everyone can touch, and a 19-foot-long T-Rex puzzle. Does everyone see the fossils? We have fossils over here and fossils over here. Does anyone know what a fossil is? It is a hard rock that was cemented over many years ago and has retained its original shape, and now we can see the remnants of that. And does anyone know what a T-Rex is? Very good, it's a type of dinosaur. Fossils are the bones, teeth, and claws of the animals or plants that lived a long time ago. After being buried for millions of years, they turned into stone. So they are at the National History Museum in Los Angeles. The meeting is about the trip we are planning to Montana to hunt for new fossils. We have a team made up of 10 club members, plus some parents. Our leader is a paleontologist. A paleontologist is a scientist who studies fossils and other evidence of ancient life. We call our leader Professor. The professor talks about what clues to look for and explains the fossil collection process. This was just a baby, he says, holding up a 3-horned triceratops skull. We will be looking for things like this. Does anyone know what a triceratops is? Yeah, it's another type of dinosaur. We are going to play Dino Detective, whispers Rita. That's a game she and I play in the backyard where we dig in the ground and investigate what we find. One time we found a plastic fork and pretended it was a dinosaur tooth. So where is the class going? They're going to Montana to look for dinosaur bones with the professor, and he is a paleontologist. Do you remember what a paleontologist is? Very good. Someone who studies dinosaurs. Now we are on our way to play Dino Detective for real. Driving across the country is nice, but after several days we want to be there already. The road is getting bumpy, but the views are amazing. We're traveling through the Badlands, rolling hills with ancient rocks sticking out. We're in Montana, near the South Dakota border. This is in Central America, and it's one of the best places in the whole world to look for dinosaur fossils. All right, the class is going to Montana, and they're going to the Badlands. That doesn't mean they've misbehaved, it just means it's a type of area where they're going to look for the dinosaurs. Wow, we're really here, Rita exclaims. The professor says last month's heavy rain has washed away some of the surface of the Badlands, so this should be a good location to find some new fossils. This is called sedimentary rock, says the professor, pointing at the bottom and newer layers on top. So this is sedimentary rock. Layers of rock form when sediments, or pieces of smaller rock, pile on top of each other to form new layers. Now we begin our hunt, walking around the Badlands, carefully looking for clues. Don't forget to take water, someone yells. Rita and I search in different directions. After a few minutes, I hear a scream. We all run over to see Rita. What's happening? I ask. She says a bee buzzed by. Is that all? I go back to my own, looking for something more interesting than that. Do you see all the professors and the students looking for dinosaur bones? They're looking in different layers of rock. Can you see the different colors? Those are supposed to represent different layers. After a while, I see something like a bone sticking out, but a closer look shows it's only a rock. I'm not too happy with that and sit down to retie my shoe. Then I see something different. A small bit of something whitish coming out of the rock surface, just out of reach. I use a stick to brush away some of the dirt around it and see that it is the tip of something much bigger. Uh-oh, what do we think Thomas has found? A dinosaur! My heart pounds with excitement. Come over here, I yell. I found something. The professor comes first. When he sees what I've discovered, his eyes light up. Great job, Tom, he says. It's a dinosaur, all right, and it might be a T-Rex. Whoa, they might have found a T-Rex. That's exciting. Do we see the different tools that they're using to search? We have shovels, we have pickaxes, we have sticks and paintbrushes, and even a broom. These are all different tools that can be used to help excavate a dinosaur. We mark the site and organize the dig. Some team members hit the rock around it with a pickaxe, just hard enough to remove the rock, but not enough to harm the fossil. All right, we see them working away. And what do we say when we mean site? What does a site mean? A site is an area that the group has chosen to dig. So there's different sites. You can have a site for when you're trying to excavate different buildings that have from long ago, or dinosaurs like this group is doing. Nearby, Rita uses a paintbrush to sweep away some sand, and she discovers a beautiful half shell of an ancient turtle. She hands it to the professor, who smiles. This little guy may have lived alongside our T-Rex 66 million years ago, he says. Although dinosaurs died off a long time ago, he tells us, a lot of animals that were common back then, like turtles and alligators, are still part of the animal kingdom today. Now, can anybody tell me some similarities between alligators and turtles? They're both reptiles, yep. Anything else? Hard shells, yep, turtles have hard shells and alligators have hard skin. Good job, good job. Rita is so happy she found the shell. She shows it to everyone and jumps around excitedly. But just as she is bragging about it to a team member, she trips and drops the shell. The delicate fossil is shattered. Rita sits still except for some tears that drip down her face. We sit with her and know she feels really bad. The professor said, "It's okay, Rita. I'll know you'll be more careful next time." After a while, the professor shows Rita a spot with another turtle shell. She has learned her lesson and is super careful this time as she cleans off the surface. Pretty soon, the beautiful shell, which is bigger than the first one, brings back a smile. Would you guys be upset if you dropped a shell too? Yeah. Just have to be delicate because some of these things are very old and very easily broken. We walk back to the camp as it is starting to get dark. Soon there is only a flicker of the campfire light and the moon to see. We are far away from any city, and there is no building or anything. There is no running water, no bathroom or shower. We all do our own cooking and cleaning at the campsite. The stars in the sky are awesome. Coyotes are howling in the distance as we crawl into our sleeping bags. A little scary, but I'm so tired, it's time to sleep. Have any of you ever been camping before? Yep, you stay in your tent, you've got your sleeping bag, your campfire. My favorite part about camping is you get to see the bright sky and all the stars. I think that's one of the better parts. One important part of camping is that they all pull their own weight. Did you see how they said that they're all cooking and cleaning? They're working as a team. That's an important part of camping. The next day, Rita and I wake up to the sound of team members already working around the T-Rex site. The team has discovered what looks like a giant skull. Did we all see the skull? Giant T-Rex skull. This is way too heavy for us to lift by hand, so we have to use a tripod and a hoist. A tripod is what's over here, class, and that just helps them lift it out instead of having to do it all by themselves. Tom, could you mix some more plaster? The professor asks. Dinosaur bones can crumble quickly, so we all need to protect them. So plaster is just a hard substance that will protect the the skull, as they transport it back to Los Angeles to the museum. The team carefully covers the skull with layers of cloth and then creates a plaster shell to protect it. Watching them reminds me of the doctor's office. The mold around the skull is formed the same way my cast was when I broke my arm last year. Protecting the fossil is important because it will be a 1,000-mile trip back to the Dinosaur Institute. Have any of you ever broken a bone before and had to wear a cast? Yeah? It's a similar type of material that they put on here to protect the dinosaur that they did to protect your arm. All right. As the sun again goes down over the horizon, I'm sad to leave this place and leave so many other fossils in the ground. Well, Rita says, this T-Rex was hidden for 66 million years, so I guess the other fossils can wait a few more years before we look for them again. It's good to leave with some of the fossils behind, I say. I want to be a paleontologist, and I will need something to work on when I finish school. Next summer, our team will return with more equipment for the final excavation, the professor explains. It's time to head home. We are traveling through Montana, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, and Nevada, all the way to California. So you'll see on the map, they started out in the Badlands in Montana, way over here on the other side of Montana, and they had to drive all the way back through Idaho, Utah, Nevada, back to Los Angeles. And what state's Los Angeles in? California. Very good, class. We are back at the Dinosaur Institute at last. Lab workers use special techniques to remove the rock without hurting the bones. The bones are cleaned with sandblasters, chisels, and dental picks. Wow, it's an 8-inch long tooth, Tom explains. The incredible T-Rex tooth has a cutting edge, just like a knife, the professor tells us. It is perfect for crushing bone and slashing into flesh. A clue that this guy ate meat. Judging by the tooth this size, the T-Rex ate some big animals. So 8 inches, that's a pretty big tooth to have. So the T-Rex most likely was a carnivore. Do we know what a carnivore is? It's an animal that eats other animals for food. Okay. Another team member is looking inside a bone. It looks like it came from some kind of bird, he says. Scientists now believe that the T-Rex and some other meat-eating dinosaurs had the same ancestors as bird. Do we know what an ancestor is? An ancestor is a member of a family who is related to members of the family that come after it. So your grandparent is the ancestor to your mom or dad, and then your mom and dad's brother or sisters. The staff at the Dinosaur Institute works very hard for a long time to prepare the T-Rex. Rita and I stop in whenever we can to visit. Alright, they're working on the dinosaur. They're trying to excavate the bones from the rock. They have to do this very carefully because it's very easy to break those bones. So then we have Tom and Rita, and they're visiting, and this is one of the staff. These two guys are staff members. They're not the professor, but they help with the dinosaur. Finally, after 3 years of excavation and 6 years of cleaning and preparation, the team starts to fit the bones together. So what that means is, the site where they found the dinosaur, they worked on excavating it for 3 years, and once they get all the pieces back to the museum, it took another 6 years to clean it up and get it all ready to look like this guy. We got the final dinosaur all put together. The magnificent beast has nearly come to life. What should we name him? Rita asks. Let's call him Thomas, after your cousin who discovered him, suggests the professor. Yeah, I grin. Team members pat me on the back. So they named the dinosaur after Tom, who found him. Today is the big day, the grand opening of the new dinosaur gallery at the museum. The 10-foot high, 7,000-pound Thomas stands in the middle. That's pretty big, isn't it? 7,000 pounds? Whew. He is a great addition to the museum, which is already the largest in the western United States. It has 35 million artifacts and fossils covering 4.5 billion years of Earth's natural history. A huge banner reads, "Long before humans came along, dinosaurs ruled the world." So dinosaurs were here a lot longer than we humans were. The 65-million-year-old Thomas is now one of the most complete T-Rex skeletons ever discovered. The whole crew is here to celebrate, and the whole world can now see Thomas the T-Rex as the centerpiece exhibit at the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County. So the dinosaurs all complete. We've got Thomas over here, and we got Rita and Thomas, who found him, standing over here. So the exhibit's all complete, and Thomas is all set up. Okay.